My well-intentioned Christmas gift turned into a family bombshell. Thinking I was being thoughtful, I bought 6 Ancestry DNA kits earlier this year when they were on sale. My grand plan was to gift them to my family for Christmas. Yesterday was Christmas Eve, our family tradition for exchanging gifts, and I proudly handed out kits to my mom, dad, brother, and 2 sisters. The moment everyone unwrapped their presents simultaneously, my mom's reaction was unexpected. She immediately started panicking, claiming the kits contained dangerous chemicals. We tried to reassure her that there were no chemicals involved, but she remained visibly agitated. She then shifted tactics, suggesting that only one of us kids needed to do the test, since we'd all have the same results, and we should resell the extras to save money. Her insistence on this felt really strange. Fast forward an hour, and my parents were upstairs engaged in a heated argument that we could clearly hear downstairs. My siblings and I were left in stunned silence, trying to piece together what was happening and jokingly wondering which one of us might have a different father. The atmosphere was thick with unspoken tension and confusion. What started as a potentially disastrous Christmas gift actually morphed into something incredibly meaningful and positive. It turns out my sister's biological father passed away shortly after she was born. A close friend of my mom's stepped in to support her during an incredibly difficult period, and their friendship blossomed into love, leading to the family I know and cherish today. They had kept this part of our family history private, understandably due to the sensitive nature of it for my mom, but last night she found the strength to share her story with us, showing us photos and recounting memories from that time. It was an incredibly emotional and bonding experience for all of us, bringing us even closer as a family than before. So, Christmas wasn't ruined at all. In a bizarre twist, my fuck-up inadvertently led to a Christmas miracle of sorts, and yes, we are now all genuinely curious and excited to receive our test results. Merry Christmas, everyone. From thinking they bought dangerous chemicals to uncovering a beautiful family secret, this Christmas took a wild turn. If you want more roller coaster stories, subscribe for daily doses of tifu. Major screw-up, my attempt to streamline Reddit. Nearly broke the whole thing. Alright Reddit, it's me, you/Sprez, and usually I'm all about confidence and leadership, but today I'm coming to you with a bit of a confession. I really messed up. Potentially destabilized the entire platform, messed up. It all started when I thought it would be a great idea to get rid of third-party apps. Like most colossal mistakes, it started with what I genuinely believed were good intentions. I was aiming for a more consistent user experience, better quality control, and just a more unified platform overall. In my head, having everyone use the official app seemed like it would simplify things and make Reddit better for everyone. Boy, was I wrong. The backlash was immediate and intense. Users and moderators were furious, and rightfully so. I started hearing from people about how much they relied on apps like Ryef, how essential they were to their Reddit experience, especially for moderators managing their communities, big and small. These weren't just nice to haves, they were critical tools. Then came the real punch to the gut. In protest, moderators started locking down their subreddits, setting them to private. Suddenly, massive parts of Reddit, some of the biggest and most active communities, just went dark. The impact was way bigger than I ever imagined it could be. Panic started setting in. Frustration, regret, and a whole lot of, oh crap, what have I done? Moments followed. This was never the goal. I absolutely did not want to disrupt the community spirit that makes Reddit what it is, or make life harder for the volunteer moderators who are the backbone of this place. And yet, here we are. I completely misjudged how important these third-party apps were to our community. I didn't grasp how deeply they were woven into the day-to-day running of Reddit, especially for our incredible moderators. So yeah, I screwed up big time. Reddit is feeling the consequences, and so are all of you. I'm still trying to process the fallout, but one thing I know for sure about Reddit is that we're a community. We're in this together, and we'll have to figure this out together. I'm here, I'm listening, let's talk. My attempt at humane fish euthanasia turned into a horror scene for my wife. This happened last night, and I'm still finding bits of fish. My wife's goldfish, a big old guy of 8 years, was unfortunately on his way out. He had dropsy and was clearly suffering with no real chance of recovery. We looked up the symptoms together, and it was clear that the kindest thing to do was to euthanize him. My wife, understandably upset, asked me to take care of it. After a quick online search, blunt force trauma seemed to be the most recommended method for quick and humane fish euthanasia. Now, I have a bit of a history with this kind of thing. When I was a kid, My family were avid fishermen, and I was always designated as the fish killer when it was time to prepare our catch. My dad's method was to just slam them on the ground as hard as possible, but being a scrawny kid, I wasn't strong enough to do it quickly, and it often took multiple slams. Honestly, it was a bit unsettling, even for kid me. Fast forward to last night, I really didn't want a repeat of my childhood fish killing experiences, and I definitely wanted it to be as painless as possible for the poor fish. My wife was already tearful, so I asked her to go upstairs to spare her the unpleasantness. I grabbed a plastic grocery bag, put the fish inside, and decided to use the kitchen counter as my blunt force surface, figuring a good hard slam would do the trick quickly. Oh boy, did it do the trick, perhaps a little too well. I slammed that bag on the counter with way more force than necessary. The bag ripped open instantly, and what was once a goldfish exploded in every direction. I mean every direction. I yelled for my wife to stay upstairs, but she was already suspicious and came down about 5 minutes later to check on me. The scene was, well, it was like a fish bomb had gone off in our kitchen. Bits of goldfish were everywhere. Counter, stove, fridge, even the Christmas tree we still hadn't taken down, don't judge. I was still finding tiny fragments this morning. My wife walked in, took it all in, and just looked absolutely horrified and traumatized. She cried until she went to bed. I think I might be sleeping on the couch tonight. Well, they definitely achieved blunt force trauma, maybe a little too blunt, and I bet the wife will never ask for help with the fish tank again. My condo mix-up, I accidentally broke into my friend's neighbor's place and attacked him with a sandwich. My friend Jenna recently moved into a really nice new condo, and I finally had the chance to go check it out yesterday. I ended up getting there a bit earlier than she was due home from work, so she told me to just let myself in with the spare key she leaves under a potted plant by the door and to make myself at home. Sounded easy enough, so I let myself in, made a quick sandwich for myself as I was a bit peckish, and started wandering around checking out her new place. It was really swanky, all modern and minimalist. I was mid-sandwich, admiring the view from the living room, when suddenly the front door opened. In walked this really big, totally unfamiliar dude carrying a duffel bag. Now, I'm a petite woman, barely scraping 5 feet tall, so this guy looked absolutely enormous and kind of intimidating. My brain immediately jumped to burglar, and I genuinely thought I'd walked in on some kind of robbery in progress. He looked just as shocked to see me as I was to see him. My eyes darted to the duffel bag, and in my panicked state, I was convinced I'd stumbled upon some nefarious character. Without even thinking, I reacted purely on instinct. I hurled my sandwich with considerable force, I might add, directly at his face. It was a full-on sandwich assault. Then, heart-pounding, I sprinted and locked myself in what I hoped was a safe room, which happened to be the bedroom. I was shaking like a leaf. From behind the locked door, I could hear him banging and yelling at me to get the hell out. I, in turn, started screaming back at him to get out, yelling that I was calling the police. A complete lie. My phone was still in my bag in the living room. Then he shouted back that he was calling the police on me. That stopped me in my tracks. His response gave me pause, a flicker of doubt in my burglar theory. It was then, taking a slightly less panicked look around the bedroom, that I noticed it was definitely decorated in a very masculine style. Definitely not Jenna's taste. Through the door, I cautiously asked if he knew Jenna, using her last name. He replied, completely bewildered, that yes, she was his next-door neighbor. Oh no. Turns out Jenna's neighbor, in a bizarre twist of fate, also keeps a spare key under his potted plant. Apparently, potted plants are the universal spare key hiding spot in this condo complex. So, yeah. Yesterday, I completely messed up by letting myself into my friend's neighbor's condo, pelting him in the face with his own sandwich, and then screaming at him to get out of his own house. The worst part? It was a really good sandwich. Such a waste. Weaponized sandwich, everyone. I didn't know a sandwich could be used as a weapon, did you? Talk about escalating quickly, from visiting a friend to full-on sandwich assault. Seriously though, has anyone else ever accidentally walked into the wrong place? Share your stories in the comments. My dad's GTA gospel lesson gone hilariously wrong. This is a story from my childhood that I was encouraged to share here, even though it's not a recent tifu. Hopefully it fits the spirit of the sub. It's definitely a funny one. When I was younger, my brothers and I somehow managed to sneak a copy of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas into the house. We spent what felt like weeks hiding in our basement, taking turns playing. Our parents didn't really bother us much down there, which was perfect for our clandestine gaming sessions. To get money for weapons and ammo, we hadn't yet cracked the dial-up password to access cheat codes. We discovered a brilliant, if slightly morally questionable method. We'd head to the in-game strip club, position CJ on stage, and just soak up all the virtual cash being tossed at the dancers. We'd let the game run for 10 to 20 minutes at a time, racking up funds. It wasn't without risk, though. Sometimes the strippers would move in a way that bumped CJ, which would provoke the bouncers and lead to a virtual shootout. One day, during one of these money farming sessions, my mom called down to tell us to get ready to go to Pizza Hut. In a moment of sheer brilliance, or so I thought, I drove CJ to the strip club, got him on stage, and then just turned off the TV. My master plan was to leave the game running, accumulating cash while we were out. It was going to be the ultimate video game heist. Unbeknownst to us, my dad was at church at that exact moment, rehearsing for a gospel concert he was performing in. He always recorded his rehearsals so he could review them later and make notes for improvement. This time was no different. While we were enjoying our Pizza Hut feast, he arrived home and, wanting to review his practice session, plugged his camcorder into the VCR. Crucially, we only had one VCR in the house, and it was connected to the TV in the basement, the very TV that was currently displaying CJ in a pixelated strip club. Back at Pizza Hut mid-pizza, my mom's phone rang. She answered, listened for a moment, then slowly put her napkin down and gave us kids a very specific, very meaningful look around the table. She said "ooh, okay" a few times into the phone in that slow, deliberate tone she used when she knew we were in trouble, even before we realized it ourselves. Immediately, a sense of dread washed over us. We knew we were in trouble. We just had absolutely no idea what we'd done this time. The minivan ride home was ominously silent. When we got back, my mom, with a slightly too sweet smile, announced, "Boys, why don't we all go down to the basement? Your dad wants to show you his gospel practice downstairs." It was at that precise moment that the penny dropped. We knew, with heavy hearts and dragging feet. We trudged down to the basement, and there it was. My dad was sitting on the couch, the TV was on, and in all its pixelated glory, a GTA strippers, assets, were swinging back and forth to En Vogue's My Lovin', with CJ, our in-game avatar, standing right in front, virtually raking in the digital dollars. My dad began his lecture, his voice a mixture of disappointment and exasperation. "Boys," he started, "I don't even know where to begin. This PlayStation was a Christmas gift, a blessing, and this is how you repay our trust by..." He held up the PlayStation controller, gesturing with it for emphasis. "Here I am trying to practice and bring glory to God and..." But he didn't get to finish his sentence. In his passionate gesticulation, he inadvertently squeezed the controller. On screen, CJ's fist shot out, connecting squarely with the unsuspecting pixelated stripper. The entire family froze, watching in stunned silence as the in-game strip club erupted in gunfire. The bouncers, triggered by CJ's accidental assault, unleashed a digital hailstorm of bullets. It felt like an eternity as the pixelated chaos unfolded. When the shooting finally stopped and CJ respawned outside the hospital, I glanced back at my parents. My mom was silently crying into her hand. My dad, a single tear tracing a path down his cheek, was muttering a prayer under his breath. Another long, heavy silence descended. Then, without a word, my dad bent down, unplugged the PlayStation, then the family computer, walked out of the basement, got in his car, and drove away. The PlayStation 2 and the family PC remained locked in his office at work for the next 4 long months. Looking back, it's one of my absolute favorite memories from growing up. I really miss those days with my brothers. From pixelated strippers to accidental punches during a gospel lesson, this story is pure gold. If you want more hilarious tifu tales, hit like and subscribe and let me know in the comments, what's your favorite tifu post?